Feel me like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Aspirant Gaming, and you remember, of course, Victoria Matheson, my British detective. Well, we've got a chat today with a subject who has been brought in after lying to us on a traffic stop. We managed to basically weasel some information out of him. I went over because I heard they had Abraham Kennedy in custody.
It's not even
Sorry, listen to me, man. Continue going straight. Continue going straight through the hole. Continue going straight forward.
But yes, the bank robber
Yeah,
from previous incidents.
You're gonna be making the right through the double door.
You wanna get the door behind me?
Okay.
Keep going. 2 doors on
What
the
is this, a
left.
torture room?
Yep,
IA torture
over
room?
here. Okay, in you go.
I don't
Walk
like
to
it.
the far end of the room.
IA
No, you don't like
torture
it? Not a
rooms.
fan? Okay, not a fan. That's fine. Okay, take a seat.
I'll just stand. Because I'm athletic
Okay.
and I'm not fat as fuck.
Okay, so, interview with Abraham Kennedy. Time is 21:11 on 16th of the 10th, 2019. Detective Victoria Matheson is in the room. For the tape, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided for you. Do you understand the rights I've read them to you?
Yes, Miss IAA lady.
Okay.
Yeah, Detective
With that in mind,
IAA.
you're willing to talk to me?
Yep.
Yeah, since
Yeah,
you're the
that's
IAA,
341
you
on this one.
literally rule the country, so I have to talk to you or I'm dead.
Okay. So, Mr. Kennedy, I believe we have a pretty big case file on you already. What I'd like to hear from you today is, after a little chat at the roadside, or my colleagues chat with you, I should say, I was told that you lied to officers there, and then you got quite angry and confessed to having large quantities of weapons in places we wouldn't find. And I'd like you to talk to me about the Union Depository.
What is this all about? Are you trying to recruit me to the IAA? I'm not gonna go kill any of my fellow Americans. You're not gonna
We're not trying to recruit you to anything, sir. I'd just like you to talk to me about your plans for the depository.
Prove to me that you're an actual cop and not an individual of the IAA.
Which one am I looking for here?
Prove it to me. And I'll tell you.
This one.
The IAA. Prove it. I will tell you.
Well, what would you like me to prove? How do you want me to prove this? Because I'm happy to prove this to you, but you need to tell me how I can prove it.
What is the IAA's motto when they approach an innocent pedestrian? Tell me like what exactly
1 second.
they say.
Come in.
Tell me exactly what they say.
For the
You want
record,
me to have
Officer Richardson.
You want me to have Union Depository pull the tapes and
Yeah, please.
I'll keep the DVDs. All right.
Yeah, please. Okay, so what was that? The IAA's motto when talking to a civilian. That one escapes me. But at the same time, we're not here to talk about me, Mr. Kennedy. We're here to talk about you. Okay?
Oh yeah, we are here to talk
So
about you.
let's talk about those weapons you mentioned in the car. Should we talk about that?
There's no weapons in the car.
I'm
So
aware of that.
you're
When
wrong
you
about
were
that
in the
thing.
car,
First of all.
you said you have lots of weapons and we'll never find them. Do you want to expand on that?
I really do.
Would you like to
You
tell
don't
me
know
what that
how
meant?
many military grade weapons I've got.
Does that include the drop location at 9:30, wasn't it, on Route 68? The one that Mr. Marachi set up for you?
That is not me. That is somebody else. Whatever you're
Okay.
talking about.
So let's talk about the depository. Why was the brick in the car with you, the gold brick?
It's my lucky brick.
Your lucky
I
gold
went to Vice
brick.
City and bought some 80s memorabilia, and that brick was from the 80s. I bought it and I refurbished it for $250,000. So
Not bad,
that
not
was my
bad.
life savings 7 months ago. But I had to pay off my debts to loan sharks, so maybe I took a couple jobs in the
So
city.
how were you
and took
paying
down a
Mr.
bank in
Marachi
Toledo.
for the weapons he was supplying you?
I did a couple favors for him.
Oh, so you
Doing a
do
bunch
know
of
Nelson
couple
Marachi?
favors.
Okay, thank you for that. So your business
Fuck
relationship
you.
with Mr. Marachi was to do favors for him, and he would supply you weapons for your jobs in around the city. Yes, because we have you tied
Alright,
down to
fine.
the
Yeah.
Polito Bank robbery. We have you tied to Evangelico, and we have you tied to Pacific Standard. But what I'm really looking for is
What about
your
about the
business relating
three-
to.
what about the three? What about the three? Whatever you call them, stores in the
Come
city. The single day, the suburban, and Harmony as well.
Hey, West.
Did you not? Did you not know that
I didn't
did
know about
those?
those, but you know what? It'd be
Did you not
great
know?
to tie those onto your record. West, are you here for the Intoxilizer?
I'm actually
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
more,
you
I
are.
think. Hey,
Blood draw.
Mr.
Okay,
Kennedy,
go for it.
we've spoken before on quite
He
a
was
few
intoxicated.
occasions, all right? So we have a bit of
Who
a
are you?
rapport at this time, all right? My name's
Who are you?
Lieutenant West. I pulled you up on that bike problem up on Vinewood not long ago. Let you off with just a warning. You seemed like a decent fella. I was also the guy who
I am a
called you
decent
when you
fella.
were threatened by the other guy. Yeah, well, so what I want you to do at this moment in time
Shenanigans
is just
until we
to
get
actually
the
eliminate any
functional
possible
script for
charges, all right? I personally don't believe that you may be intoxicated,
Sitting.
but I want to confirm that. So if you give permission, I've got a nurse just here at the door, for her to just take a quick sample of blood so we can test and make sure that you are not intoxicated or under any influence of narcotic. You give us permission to do that, it'll take one tiny little prick, no offense meant, and we'll be out of the way. And that way we can just get down to
How
the
many-
matter at hands that the detective can talk with you. Do you give us
How
permission
many-
for that?
How many charges are gonna get dropped if I do this for you?
Well, that's
How
something we
many
can discuss
charges?
afterwards,
Well,
sir, but we're happy to.
I mean, if you can promise me that you'll talk to me about that, then I'll do it. So promise me
she'll
now.
happily talk to you. Alright, so you give us permission.
I will
Right,
promise to talk to you about it
nurse,
once we're done.
come on in.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Come on, let's do it. What are you waiting for? Let's do it.
Okay, here she is. Again, for the tape, we've got a nurse
just give
from
it- yeah.
Central Hospital coming in to take a blood sample.
I do me a favour, sir, just roll up your sleeve there. She's just going to take a small sample. Some tissue. She's got a. There we go.
I can promise you, I don't take no drugs, cause when
That's
you
fine.
have to
If that's
be
the case-
busy all the time, you can't take them.
That's
Well,
the
you've got to
case,
keep a
then that's
sharp
fine.
mind, Kennedy.
I
I understand that.
Especially when you have to know what you're doing, not to get caught. You have to have a
Alright,
different
here you go.
mindset.
You got a
when
nice
you're at the
little
thread.
special Hello Kitty band-aid. I'll put that there. You can wear that with pride. And I'll leave
That
you
expresses
with
my
the detective,
feminine
thank you.
side.
You know, whilst we're kind of starting this off again, I wanted to kind of tell you a story real quick, if that's okay. As someone is, could you get the door? Thank
What's
you.
the story about? Is
Okay,
it a fake
so
story about some
no,
politician you killed?
originally I'm not from America, as you can probably tell. I'm from a little place called Kent, just outside London. Okay, and until last year I worked for the Metropolitan Police. Now, until recently we've had a storied history when it comes to bank robberies, and it's always been something I was dreaming to work on ever since I joined the police. And there was a case recently in Covent Garden at a jewellery store, and these guys pulled off an amazing heist. Bank holiday weekend, the place closed for 3 days. They drilled in through the basement. Old guys in their 60s, they were all former bank robbers, and they got together. Ocean's 11, although it was more like Ocean's 89, and they drilled into the place, and it was amazing. Like, those guys were the rock stars of the crime world.
Yeah, interesting story. Interesting story you got there.
No, it absolutely was, and I thought those guys were absolutely amazing. It was just so creative. Does that make sense?
So, let me hear you. Let me hear you out for a second. I'm gonna whisper here for a second. Are you asking to join my crew? Is that what you're trying to ask right now? You're trying to ask to
Well,
join my
not
crew?
in particular, but at the same time, I'd love you to tell me some of the stories. I mean, I'd love to get inside your head and understand how you do what you do, because, you know, people in your position, I honestly find it's kind of exciting, you know?
Graduating with 165 IQ, well, that makes a man smart.
So what goes into actually planning
That
one of your
makes a man
jobs? I mean, I've seen the
arrogant.
way you work, and it's so clean. How do you do it? I just don't get it. Like, I can't work out how you're so good at this stuff.
Stop trying to psychologically manipulate me, or I'll psychologically manipulate too.
I'm actually deadly serious. I
Just
really
make it
want
more
to know
sincere.
what goes
I'll
into
tell
it.
you.
I'm being serious. I
I'll
want to
make
know
it
what
more
goes into it.
sincere.
Like, how do you plan a
I
job?
can tell by your voice that you're not serious.
Then I think you need to
So if you
assess how
sound a
you're
little bit
hearing
more
my
serious,
voice.
then I'll tell you. No. Alright, I'll tell you.
Mr. Kennedy,
Guess
this is my
that's how you
accent.
sound serious. I'll tell you, so. Well, my first gig was 3 robberies in one day. I robbed a hairstyling store, a gas station, and a convenience store, all in one day. Well, a clothing store as well. A clothing store, yeah, all in one day. We're on my same bike, the same clothes. I knew I was identified because I was watching the police the whole time when they were investigating.
Oh, that's
So I went
amazing.
back to Blankett the next day, and I took down the Suburban. I heard that a gang took it over and that they got money there, so I took it over and hid on top of the roof and watched police investigating. As soon as they say, "Hey, someone's on the roof," I jumped off. I headed out into the desert where I wasn't seen no more. Then, well, after all these jobs, well, I was like, I need more money. I knew I was a success. So what I did was I got in contact with a local biker gang called the Lost MC, and I asked them, "Hey, you got any gear, high quality gear I could buy?" So I visited their little place, their little town in the desert. I bought some guns and equipment for 2 people, which is me and the black fella named Jones or something. He's dead, but me and this Jones guy, we stole a scrap truck the next day, and we took down the Polito Bay Bank, knocked out a guard, drilled into the vault, opened it, and snuck out with the money and threw away our tools in the back of the truck. We just
Yep.
left. No cop response,
this
no
one.
nothing. We were gone. So that clears up the Polito Bank for you. So how do you think about the Polito Bank?
That's pretty creative using the truck, but it's kind of more messy than
yeah.
your jobs you did later.
Well, my next job, well, it was a solo job. Since that money from the Polito job was to just have money, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
I needed a job to prepare for my next job. So I considered the Sandy Shores airport, but I was like, nah,
No, not
too
Sandy
many
Shores.
cops would be there. So I had my eyes on the Grapeseed airfield. I knew that there's plane parts and that they keep a reserve money somewhere in case their business goes out. So I went in with my same disguise as my previous robberies, all of them. And I walked in and I just took the reserve money, which is like 500,000. I walked out, got approached by a guy, shot him a couple times, and then I shot down the little gas tank right next to the hangar. It blew up, throwing a guy up in the air. I got onto my bike and I left, headed down to Sandy Shores to hide. And
Don't think
I
you
remember
realize we
from
haven't
hearing
tied
from
him
the
to these crimes
news
yet.
that, the guy who was on TV was identified me from my previous robberies because I was on social media and
Oh,
TV,
because you use
so-
the same gear. That's that suit
Yeah,
and the
I
mask,
was
isn't
using-
it?
I've been using the same gear. But yeah, my next job, well, with my $500,000, I had my eyes set on the Angelico jewelry store. I took a crew of 3 guys. Well, before that, I purchased some military-grade weapons from a Danish man, a Danish local. It's one of those locals that you can see, that you find around the downtown area. I was like, hey, you got any guns? And I got lucky. He said, yeah. He took me up to his office, and this local just gave me a bunch of assault rifles, Danish military weapons. I knew I was set. So I robbed the guy, and I killed him in his own apartment. And I did a small little gig, and I evacuated a bunch of his stuff out of his apartment. And this is what got me prepared for the Evangelico jewelry store. So me and a group of 2 other guys, we took down the jewelry store. So there was 3 hostages in there, but I remember we failed. I know we got shot down, but I remember that we didn't completely rob the place. There was still enough for us to have a
Yeah, I don't
decent
think I was on
heist.
that day.
So after I got released from the hospital because they thought I was dead, but I was actually alive, and they thought I was a victim. So I walked into the jewelry store and just stole the remaining jewels that were left and took another computer hard drive, sold it to Merriweather for a hefty $2 million. I was set. But when I was chilling in my apartment in downtown LS, I knew that something just didn't seem right. I wanted more. And so I did some research, and then I had my eyes set on the what was it? What the fuck is it called?
Pacific
Downtown
Standard Bank.
Vinewood, what's it called? Yeah, that bank. I knew that there was 2 ways in, so that means it's a bit more complex than the Evangelical Jewelry Store. And I know that they keep $5 million in the vault, and that the CEO's offices, there's 2 offices up there. I know that they carry
That's a
hard
big
drives
branch.
that carry valuable information. So, if we take the hard drives and took the vault down, I can earn us a honest $606 million. So, I assembled a crew of 2 other women and I, and we went in while there was 1 guy in there. We took the guy hostage, and with our equipment that I've bought
And we
that
got
I've
him.
kept around
Haha.
the state, we took down the bank.
I surveilled that
got the
bank for
hard
4
drives,
hours
I
that
got
night.
the hard drives, and I got the money. But
I was waiting
made sure
for them.
to leave a little bit of money just in case I got
4
shot down
hours.
again. And of course I did.
4
Because our
hours.
stupid dumbass started shooting at the police when there were strict orders not to shoot at the police. So we were gunned down. I lived. I believe I was taken to the hospital. I think I got like a jail sentence, but the day I went to jail, I stole a guy's bicycle, went down to the Pacific Standard, went down to the vault, opened up the doors that I didn't open, and stole about $700,000. I just walked out since the place was still closed down. And I knew that those 2 robberies failed, but I'm still alive. I need 1 big score to prepare for the last score. So I did some research. I looked into the FIB building on the 49th floor, the communications floor. I was thinking maybe we could delete, if I bring in a crew, we can delete our entire records, criminal records. They'd be wiped clean.
This is
We
great.
could hack into their system and or
This is
blow it up.
awesome.
But we'd be seen as terrorists, so I took my eyes onto the humane labs, which I think this is where it gets interesting for you, lady.
Oh, can I slam him for this?
So, out in the prep phase, the preparation process, I stole a dinghy boat and bought some scuba gear from
Is
the
he
ammunition.
confessing?
Literally all I had to do. And I took
Is
the
he
scuba
confessing?
gear and the boat to
This is a
a
first degree
village on
case.
Catfish View, just north of the humane labs.
Oh,
I assembled
buddy.
a crew from stolen FIB documents that I got my
Oh,
hands
buddy.
across from a very
He's giving me gold here.
professional guy. So once I got in contact with these people, about 3 other guys, we met up at Catfish View, and we had the dinghy boat all set up. Everybody's loadouts were set up. We were good to go. So we took the boat to the coastline, and
No more
we jumped
robbery
out
at the Union
into the water,
Depository.
where we found the little tunnel, underwater tunnel that I planned for.
Uh-huh.
So the conditions were right. All 4 of us went in through the underwater tunnel. We entered out through the back where that wasn't really used anymore. I unlocked the door. We
I
snuck
got
in.
him. I got
Maybe
him.
we had to kill or injure a few guards along the process, but some girl that's a really good professional. She's amazing at robbing people. Amazing voice. So much talent. She convinced the scientists to give us information on Project Sentinel, which is what we wanted to take. My estimated value for that was $8 million.
Oh, this is
And I
gold.
guess I was a little bit off on that. But once we got Project Sentinel, we went outside.
I got him.
Not a single cop. No FIB. Nothing. So we
I
took
got
a
him.
vehicle because we were going to have a vehicle in the first place, but we had to take some locals' vehicle. We drove down to Route 13.
Just let him talk.
Expecting
Let him
cops.
spill his
Nobody.
guts.
We headed up to Polito Bay, where we sorted out everything. And then we headed out to the Polito Forest, where all of us got dropped
coerced
off.
him
I
into
believe.
showing off, and off he goes.
And I had to, for me at least, I took off all my gear at the sawmill, and I went back to Pluto Bay to just chill. And 2 days later, I got a call. It's from I get a call from a guy that was with us on the robbery. He says that the deal was successful. Project Sentinel sold for $7.5 million.
That's crazy.
And so
Wow.
I got my fair share, which I got 3 million of that 7.5 million. Well, maybe I robbed maybe I robbed the guy and maybe killed him. But I had $3 million, and plus that, I had a total of maybe 5.5 million that I could just use at any point. So I was like, you know what? This is not enough. One last score. And
Okay.
I'm currently in the preparation phase for the
Union Depository.
depository.
Well, I hate
That's
to break it to
I'm in the
you,
prep phase.
Mr. Kennedy, but I don't think you're going to be able to do that
say.
one.
Ah. Okay,
I
wasn't
don't think you can
expecting
do
to
it.
say that, but okay. Really?
Yep. It's really unfortunate, actually.
Okay.
See,
yeah, that's really
the little
unfortunate
thing
that-
here is that you might be planning to do it, but it's going to be really hard to rob it from inside Bolingbroke. See,
Fuck you!
you confessed to being involved in the humane lab job where a man was killed. That's first-degree murder.
I didn't. What?
You confessed under oath
Say-
to first-degree murder.
I did not. I swear to you. I swear to God, I did not kill nobody. I was with the crew. I was in the back, I believe.
Criminal
I
conspiracy,
witnessed
sir.
the girl. I witnessed the girl or somebody shoot down a couple guards, and I didn't want to kill nobody. I just
One
wanted to
second.
intimidate
Reed?
them, you know.
Yeah, detective. Can you come in here and have a chat?
One
for a sec?
second. Just stew in here for me,
I
Mr.
did it.
Kennedy.
I didn't kill nobody.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Fuck.
Woo!
Alright, anyways, I'm gonna back on the street. I got his ID on
Yep.
the counter. I didn't do any paperwork, so I'm assuming you all did that, so...
Oh, I got that handled. Unless, Reed, you want the honors?
Nice catch.
No. Yeah, I just came down here because I heard something about the Union
Yeah.
Depository, and I knew...
Yeah, he was the one planning
and
to
he
hit the
warned the
depository.
guys.
He's been the one doing all the crap with the Pacific Standard, with Sipilito Savings and Loan, and he just confessed in his little self-inflated, look at me, aren't I amazing, monologue to hitting the Humane Labs, which is, I think, your
Good.
case. So that's another one
Yeah.
for that job. I think there's only one
Yeah,
outstanding,
still
or
got
two
two
outstanding.
unaccounted for.
Well, we're working through them, and this
Female
guy's
and
the
a male.
ringleader, so... Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get him sorted out and moved on with.
Do you have his name and ID that I can jot
Abraham
down?
Kennedy. I've got it here. I have it all written down already. There you go. I'm gonna go take care of the
Thanks.
paperwork. I'll be back in a moment.
Yep.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba! Hey! First degree slammer, and he wasn't impressed. Another person I've talked into spilling their guts. I love it. Ah, God, that feels tasty. I do enjoy those moments. Especially when I convince them to tell me themselves. Criminal threats. We had false information and degree murder. Lied to officers on a traffic stop. Proceeded threaten them with death during interrogation under rights. Confessed to being part of a robbery where civilians were killed.
Alright, I'm out.
A homicide for murder during a felony act. Oh, sorry, pre-planned. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Hey! Another one bites the dust. Hey! I'm quite happy with this. Well, I hopefully you enjoyed that one, guys. I'm going to go take Mr. Kennedy to his cell, and hopefully he has a nice time. We'll see you soon. Bye!